We will now move on to our OL Reign.
This was NWSL has certainly had a week over the past week. Anyway, we'll focus on the Reign side of things. Over the past week, playing May 4th at the Washington Spirit, a 8-9 loss in penalties. So the Reign converted 8, Washington converted 9 to win that penalty shootout. This game only went to a penalty shootout because so it was 0-0 in regulation. The Spirit had a handball in their own box, which would have resulted in a penalty kick, but it was not called, and then the whistle blew and we ended regulation. So you would have had a golden opportunity to win the game in the final minute of regulation, and the ref says, and this is a game where the Challenge Cup has already been marred with a lot of people have lost their season to injury already in the Challenge Cup because of the fact that this is additional games onto the regular season slate. It's been talked about with the Commissioner's Cup, right? The Commissioner's Cup, the games are already tied into the regular season. Just some are Commissioner's Cup games and some aren't. It's already worked into the regular season, right? So why isn't that a thing? And the Challenge Cup isn't even that incentivized. I know that there was some sponsorship signing a few days ago that made it so that the payout would be more than it is. But you're seeing, like I said, a lot of players in the NWSL had season-ending injuries in the Challenge Cup because of poor officiating that did not discourage the way that some of these tackles were made that got these injuries. And we'll get to it in league news, but there was just a lot of bad officiating and injuries that took place in Challenge Cup that really just kind of overshadowed the actual result. You know, more people saw the injuries than saw who cared about the actual the team that won the tournament. So the Reign loses the Spirit for the second time in the past week. Off of a team they probably shouldn't have even lost. We'll get back to the score here. And then May 8th versus Racing Louisville at home in the regular season opener back at Lewin Field. A 2-2 draw. Player of the game, forward Tziarra King with 2 goals and 2 shots, playing in 55 minutes. It was Tziarra's first career brace in the NWSL and professional side of things. So congrats to Z on that. But this was a game also that, there was a lot of fouls. The officiating got away from things. And the second goal that Louisville scored to, really draw things up and so that the Reign didn't get a win was very controversial because it was on the goal line and it got cleared by Bethany Balser. It looked like it got cleared, but we don't have a distinct view of it because there's no video replay. Video assisted replay, I think, is what VAR is. There's nothing on the line that tells me. There's no goal line technology, so I can't tell. And Bethany Balser asked the referee right after the goal was given, said, hey, why did you do that? He said, he made a really dumb comment. He's like, I'm taller so I can see. And Bethany Balser goes, that's impossible or whatever. And she said, the referee, the response was basically, oh, well, it's just a goal.
Excuse me?
It's like, if you're a professional in this league, how can you respond to a player like that? And it's just, the league is, it's a mess. It was just a whole big mess. So the Reign, get a draw there at least. It's not a loss, but it should have been a win. It should have been 3 points instead of a point. In league-related news, as we talked about with Magic Johnson earlier, Kevin Durant joins the New York / New Jersey Gotham FC ownership group, part of 35 Ventures founded by Durant. The former Supersonic is now a minority investor in Gotham FC. Talk about Challenge Cup issues. We continue that as we talk about league news. The semifinal sees that handball in the box was not called. And then the Challenge Cup final, sees numerous injuries, including a seizure, and missed calls that outshined the actual game itself. There was a really scary moment in the game where Jordan Baggett was suffering a seizure, and the medic that was wheeling out the gurney, I think that's the right word, was taking too long. So her own teammates had to go and run alongside of the gurney so that they could get to her in time.
Oh, my gosh.
It was insane. And this is what I talk about with the league. Just, you want women's soccer to grow. You want women's sports to grow. But the league is not, the organization that is running the league itself is not helping that. The players are there. They're doing their part.
Yeah.
It's just about the way that those in charge, right, are doing things, because the officiating's been bad for a long time. The broadcasts have issues. The broadcasters misgender people all the time. And they had an issue last season where I think it was just McDonald's I think it was just McDonald's. There was a player's son. They called another child a player's son. They put it up. They had it on the cameraman, and it was just some kid, and they put just McDonald's son. Some totally random kid. So there's a lot of problems with this league, and you'd love to see it succeed. I would love for the NWSL to succeed, but there's just so many issues, and they need to be corrected. One of those was the collective bargaining agreement with the players this past offseason, but
Yeah.
there's a long way to go. We talk about the league. Potential league expansion was talked about. Record-setting attendance for the start of the regular season showed a surge in fan interest, said Commissioner Jessica Berman. So that, continued expansion should continue to happen, but we'll leave that be as we got to continue here. Looking ahead, the Reigns sit at a 0-win, 1-draw, 1-loss record. They sit at 10th in the NWSL table out of 12. Looking ahead, they play May 13th at the Portland Thorns. So a rivalry game there. We hate Portland. Not always, but the sports teams at least. With a 7:30 p.m. Pacific time start time, that will be streamed on the CBS Sports Network if you are going to look for the streaming option.